this character that doesn't have boundaries with her son or with everything that happens. She's very manipulative, and sometimes she knows it, and sometimes she doesn't. And what she's going through it's also about boundaries. And what Halfdan does as a filmmaker, it's also pushing the boundaries of what a movie can be. It doesn't give you all the answers. He takes you on a ride that you don't know what's going to happen next, you know?
Not knowing what is really going to happen next, the laughing scene. I
Yeah.
mean, incredible. Please tell me everything about it. I was like, is it going to turn into crying? Is it not? Is it ironic? What is it? Is it honest? Tell me everything. How many takes? Was it nerve-wracking? Was it fun? How did you pull that one off?
It was really, really hard, surprisingly hard. And in the script, it's only, 3 lines. And we didn't really talk so much about it, because to be able to do this scene, which is an impossible scene to do as an actress or an actor, you have to lose control, like really lose control, and the body doesn't want to lose control, and the mind doesn't want to lose control. So it's really challenging. So I knew I had to kind of make a really solid setup to be able to get there. So for instance, I had to plan for Elizabeth to be very, very stressed in the beginning, so it could build up to a point where she would lose control completely, because she didn't have any other options than just to laugh in that scene, and very specifically find what she would laugh about and what the other people said that would kind of tip it over. And then we did that scene for 10 hours, because Halfdan needed that scene for the movie and for the change in Elizabeth. So it wasn't even a question about, well, we need that scene. But I came in that morning and I said, Halfdan, I don't know, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. It's impossible, it's impossible. And he said, we'll just try. And then I was extremely nervous. And the sound guy, he's a very funny guy. And I've worked with him many times. And he put the sound on me. And I said, please tell me a joke. I need to start laughing. And he told me this very silly joke.
Yeah.
And since I was so nervous, it started kind of bubbling inside me. And I sat down with the others and I had all my analysis and was very, very prepared. And then in the beginning, it kind of happened a little bit. And then after a lot of hours, I was completely destroyed. It felt like I was turned inside out, and everything just happened. And it was quite scary, because I actually lost control, and things would just come out of my mouth, and both in laughter and in sorrow and snot and drool. And it was scary, but I was prepared that it would be scary to go that place.
Yeah. Okay.
And then after, we were so happy, and I couldn't stop crying, and Halfdan would just hold me until I stopped crying, because we had, from the short movie that we did many years ago, we became best friends. So it wouldn't have worked if we didn't have the trust, to build on. But it was a crazy day, and they knew it. So they had given me 5 days off after, and then I just slept for 5 days. Yeah.
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I haven't thought about that hearing a joke could be the trick, but of course that can be the trick. Yeah. Yeah. And now that you're talking or telling me this, I thought about The Worst Person in the World, where you said you've read the script every day in order to prepare for your first leading role. Now, how has your preparation changed since then? I mean, for this scene in particular, I think you told something like this now, that this was a crazy preparation for just one scene, for knowing I have to laugh this long. But how's in general, your preparation right now?
So I'm a little bit more experienced now, because Worst Person was my first lead. So now I kind of know that I can go to emotional places without reading the script every day. But I'm also a person that loves working so much that I don't think there is one day without me thinking about something or having an idea to do something because I love it so much. I think it's so fun, like a game kind of. Sometimes I'm still surprised I get paid to do this. But and with this script, Elizabeth, because we had been preparing, like he had trying to get funding for 7 years, it was also very in my bones, who this character was. And but it was a very different process because Julie in Worst Person in the World, she was very in her head, and she doesn't say so much, but she's in her head. So I needed to write almost a script for what she's thinking in every scene. But this character, she needs to lose control. So it's a different process. You have to find a way to push your body into losing control. And it's very scary because because you know that, oh, this is what a human being or I am capable of. What happens when I lose control? It's a very different and very scary process. Julie was in love. She was so charming. She was, a very different character, but also being the worst sides of a character is not something the body goes into with love. You have to find another way,
Yeah, that brings me to the dancing scene. Would you say that it was also about losing control in that moment? Because I thought, is it Elizabeth's inner child that is coming out in this moment just to enjoy life for a moment in the most innocent way? That was what I thought. But
that's a really nice perspective of it. I think that scene means a lot of things because, it's the first scene, you mean, where she walks and I think for Halfdan, I think it's a way of opening up the movie to like, now anything can happen. You're not safe here, like the development of the characters is like, now anything can happen. They will use any means to get what they want. And you kind of see it from the principal's point of view, and he has a lot of prejudice about Elizabeth and seeing her like this crazy person. But for me, I actually had misunderstood because Elizabeth was supposed to just walk through the hall in a very strange way. But I met with the choreographer because of the second dance scene, and I made this dance walk because I felt this is where Elizabeth is right now, like kind of what you say, like she's a child and she's letting loose, but she's wild and she doesn't know what's up and down, and she's kind of using her sexuality with one of the characters. She's kind of using her craziness for the other character. It's kind of a condensed version. And then I showed it to Halfdan and he said, let's use this. But it wasn't really supposed to be like that. So
that's cool. Yeah.
But he Halfdan is also very like experimental in a way that he wants to if he loves something and he gets a good feeling, he finds a place for it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, when you're at home, Renate, which song always makes you dance?
I dance a lot. So all the songs.
all the songs on the radio or on every mix CD that is on there?
I don't listen to radio, but now I have this like techno phase. So I listen to a lot of techno. What is like dancing again? I think it's Timo or something. Timo, something that has this song. And I can't remember. I need my list to see what what songs. So I both like indie. Now I'm like in an indie phase, but also techno phase. So I switch between, and I can dance to both.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great mixture, I think, that is happening there. Yeah. And right now, what is your favorite movie, or maybe your top 3 favorite movies?
Actually, I have this like line of very dark movies, but and my favorite movies is very based on performances that really has stuck with me. Haneke, Isabelle Huppert, the piano teacher. It's been a long time since I watched it, but I've had it on my list just because it's something I wanted to reach for. In when I wanted to do acting, I was like, how can I possibly be doing anything remotely close to what Isabelle Huppert does, you know. And I also it's also a really dark movie, but it's Antichrist by Lars von Trier. But I've never seen the violent parts, but I think it's really a beautiful movie about grief and how dark it can become for a human being. And I think Charlotte Gainsbourg is so raw in that movie. And also this movie that's called Come and See. Have you seen it?
No,
it's
I don't think so.
I think it's a Russian movie, and it's these two kids I've never seen acting like that. And after that movie, it was actually a big discussion about if they were drugged or not, because they are just in a state that is incredible. And the way it's shot, they're using like a double lens, so you see both the like the depth and the close-up at the same time. It's a really special movie, actually. It's an anti-war movie. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. So if I had to say three, it's maybe them, but they're very dark.
Okay, yeah. You've talked about Mulholland Drive, that you've seen that one 20 times. After I saw it, I had to think about it for at least 2 weeks. And I think it's so great that movies can do that.
Yes.
I thought, do you search for projects, for scripts where you have the feeling, this could be such a movie, where people will leave the cinema and think about that for at least 2 weeks?
I think it's impossible to know what movies will become this or this, because it has so much to do with the collaborations and what the director wants with it, and that you cannot know. But I think what sparks a lot of questions in me when I read the script, and what can I have the most fun with? Like, what can I sit every day and just think about and have a lot of fun with? And play like mind games with the script and with the character. That's when I know that I can really connect to the movie. But you never know what it's gonna be. Sometimes I've been in things that I felt like horrible when we shot it, and then it became really interesting, and the opposite. You know, you never know what it's gonna be, but it's not that is not the most important. But of course, you hope that it can become something epic that people will have a really profound experience with.